Dr. Peter Sharples.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker. Nā te mea, kāre o iko nei I nanahi. Ngā mihi mo te tauhau, whare mata tauhau ki a tātou.
I pēr koe.
Tēnā koutou. Puake tētahi kura hau I kawera. Pai tēnā hui.
Labour policy.
Well, the political year started with the treaty and Māori issues right up front and centre stage, right where they belong. Debate is hot. Debate is hot over how the treaty affects the government's plans to partially privatise a number of SOEs. Once again, the issue of Māori customary interests and rights in fresh water has come up. The place of the treaty in our constitution is up for debate, with national consultations getting underway this year. Meanwhile, Māori are working on strategies for language growth and Māori economic development. And whānau ora is in its rollout stage at this time. And the big question is, how do all these things make a difference for the people of Aotearoa? Who are living in an increasingly divided and polarised society? Where in that side where the rich are getting richer and more families are struggling to make it through. The Māori Party is proud to be at the centre of the action. We have come to Parliament to represent our constituents' views, to take them to Cabinet, fight them through, and to work with the Parliament as a whole to make a difference for New Zealand. So that leads me to the question of poverty. And we're happy that the Māori Party has been able to arrange with National Party a joint ministerial committee on poverty. Minister Turia and Minister English will certainly work with you. Minister Turia and Minister English co-chair this, and I'm a member of that committee as well. We've already started with TPK out there working very, very hard, showing what a good ministry they are. Doing the job. Oh, rubbish. Wharekura, you know that's not true. Working with TPK, I've already initiated a number of activities in the areas of housing and housing health, of jobs and training initiatives, and education initiatives. Developed is the word. It's in the most early stages at this time, but it's really quite exciting to see that sections of the community are prepared to come forward and contribute, although there are still hard times. So this brings me to whānau ora, that beautiful, beautiful policy that's so admired by all the members in this House. It's so disappointing to see the redneck of racism emerging around whānau ora. There have been questions asked about one family of some 180 members who received $6,000, which is a fairly meagre amount when we think about the scale of the transformation that they are commencing. And I have to wonder what motivates a man to cast doubt on the capacity of families to turn their lives around. Why would any politician attack whānau who are doing the best they can to improve their situations and in the long term reduce reliance on state dependency? Especially since I've been informed that the member who raised this issue knows full well his partner received sizable remuneration for advising one of those whānau ora collectors.
Point of order. A point of order. Honourable Trevor Mallow.
Mr Speaker, I think it's been a long tradition and a matter which has been reinforced a number of times by speakers that members' families are not brought into debate.
That point of order is upheld. Can I just caution the member also that he used a term initially when he raised this particular matter in his speech, which could lead to disorder. I let him away with it because it wasn't attributed to a party or an individual, but he did use a word which is unacceptable to attribute to a person, a member, or a party. So I just raised that consciousness with him. Continue, Dr. Sharples.
Thank you, Speaker. What I have seen occurring through whānau ora is real change, tangible outcomes which show families taking responsibilities for themselves. This funding is about whānau transformation. The value in that is priceless. Transforming the relationship between whānau and the state may take a lot of time, but we cannot continue to waste government spending on interventions that make no lasting difference but just create dependency. Whānau Ora is about bringing whānau together to collectively plan to improve their well-being. The outcomes that we have seen are widespread. They span education, employment, health, and social transformation. We have whānau who have looked at ways to address family violence, others who have focused on rheumatic fever, and others who have looked at rebuilding their lives after the Christchurch earthquake. The outcomes for these whānau show they are getting results. They are turning around trends which decades of failed government funding has been unable to address. The Māori Party is about creating real transformation in whānau, not just propping up a system that obviously has not worked for our people over the many decades past. Whānau Ora is the greatest opportunity that we have had to take back responsibility for ourselves. So why would anyone want to undermine that? Another major activity that the Māori Party is involved with, that I'm involved with as the constitutional review. This is a review of the Constitution of New Zealand, which will take place over 2 years. There's a panel of about 12 people, led by Sir Tipene O'Regan and Emeritus Professor John Burrows, and members such as Peter Chin, Ranginui Walker, Dr. Walker, Peter Tennant, Professor Linda Smith, Hinurewa Pautu, Leonie Pihama, Dr. Pihama, Bernice Mene, John Luxton, Michael Cullen, Deborah Coddington, and I mentioned Peter Chin. So those will be the groups, and they will go out over 2 years and hold meetings with the community. Parallel to this, the iwi leaders have set up another team, and they're going to formulate their views on what the Constitution review should look like, and then I guess they'll bring it to the two together and see what happens. So that's happening over the period of 2 years, and it'll take a time for us to get this back, but we put the call out to iwi to make sure that they wānanga on this topic, because for years at Waitangi, the question of where does the treaty fit has come up with protests, and even more recently, the question is really relevant when you consider the SOEs. The first of these consultation meetings over the SOEs has been held today in Rotorua. There were over 300 people, over 300 people there, and unanimous by the people present, the whole lot. Do you want to hear this? The unanimous result by all the people present was that they support Section 9 being included in the new bill, that it should remain there. And I think this might be a warning for us. Beg your pardon?
Does the government support Section 9?
This might be a warning for us and for the government to that this could be indicative. Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm in the government, mate. Exactly why I'm there. So I can sit at the table and challenge them on everything. And that's the relationship we have, totally above board. So at the end of the day, it'll be decided in Cabinet, and Tariana and I, whatever the result is, will be in there in that discussion, full on acting our part and so on. So, also carrying on at this time, because I'm a busy boy, is the economic review. You remember last time? Oh, sure. Yeah, man. We had I had a task force of Māori economics, and we did looked at quite a few initiatives, set up trading lines to China, and a lot of Māori initiatives over there, as well as the economy. We reviewed it and found it to be $36.9 billion asset base that is growing fast. We're now progressing to phase 2, to mobilise the Māori economy asset base by developing a Māori economic strategy, which was announced last year. The objectives: this strategy and action plan will produce strategic recommendations on improving the overall collaboration and infrastructure of Māori iwi economy, and secondly, Māori iwi economic development in the context of the Treaty of Waitangi, New Zealand and the wider global economy. So the strategic and action plan will actually produce specific and practical recommendations on the following: improving the performance and productivity of the Māori economic sector, clarifying the role and identity, the contribution that the government can make to improving the performance of Māori economic sector, and thirdly, considering the role and contribution of the Māori to their own economic development. And that team is led by Ngāhiwi Tamona, I think I've met him before, Craig Whitred, Debbie Packer, Roger Pikia, Graham Stewart, Jinarangi, Glenn Tupuhi, June McCabe, Mark Solomon, Bevan Graham. So that's all happening, and as well as that is the language review that we're involved in totally. And you know that we had set up the Pai Pai Mutuhake, which was a panel by the people, and they're in an interesting stage of this development at this time. I've just been waved down, so thank you for listening and for your support, especially from that side.
A point of order, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to make a personal explanation.
With regard to?
With regard to the allegations made by the Honourable Peter Sharples.
Leave is sought for that purpose. Is there anyone opposed to that course of action? There appears not. Leave is granted.
Mr. Speaker, in my absence in the last address, Mr. Sharples made a number of statements which are demonstrably and palpably false. And I wish to put the circumstances on the record with respect to an associate. This person was asked by John Tamahere of Waipareta Trust to address his senior management group on February the 12th of February 2010 to present management competencies of a large corporation, that is J&J, and that was a 3-hour presentation. He was asked also to attend their
Order. Just a point of clarification. When the member says this member, is he referring to himself?
No, I'm referring to the circumstances about which his allegation was made, which sought to impugn my integrity and suggest that I was being a hypocrite.
Just a moment, I'm on my feet. The member cannot relitigate statements which other members made. He has sought leave to make a personal statement that relates to him, and that is what he should do. Right Honourable Winston Peters.
This relates to me because I'm very much aware of this matter. The next attendance was at a business planning meeting. The next day, 13th of February, as an observer to provide feedback to the CEO on the competency of senior management. This was a meeting unrelated to whānau ora, which I attended myself in the evening. Mr. Tamahere asked again in February 2011 for advice on one of his senior managers. Again, this was not aligned to whānau ora in any way. It was an HR issue associated with the organisation and a particular individual, and at no time were there any dealings at all on the issue of whānau ora, though Mr. Sharples and his party colleagues have made those claims today to the media. They are demonstrably false, and I'd ask him to withdraw and apologise if he feels he's up to it.
Response?
Well, no, we're not. No. The member has made a personal statement, and it is not up for debate. He sought leave. The House granted leave. We will now move on. So a point of order, Honourable Trevor.
I think, Sir, there was clearly offence taken by Mr. Peters about comments made about a member of his family. He did ask for an apology from Dr. Sharples, and I think giving Dr. Sharples the opportunity to apologise, I think all he has to do is stand up and take the leave of the House, and the House will grant that leave to Dr. Sharples to apologise.
I seek the leave of the House to respond.
No, the member cannot respond to a personal statement. The only avenue open to the member is if he is seeking to withdraw or apologise or do something of that nature. And a member is not bound to do that. It has been an offer that's put to him. So if that is not happening, there's some member seeking the call. Honourable Shane Jones.
Kia ora no tātou. Sir, this has been a miserable start for Māori politics in Parliament in 2012. We've had the unedifying